Here is our class number 3. Trying not to leave any important current affairs for your 2020 prelims. The class 3 also deals with June 2020 environment current affairs. These are the 4 topics we are going to see today. One is anthropause. This came in the context of COVID lockdown. Second is 6th mass extinction, a topic which is being discussed from a long time. Third is Asiatic lion census. Asiatic lion is present only in Gujarat, in your Saurashtra Peninsula region, and some adjoining areas in Gujarat only. And a census has been done after 5 years by the Gujarat government. We will see what are the results of this census, and we will see what are the steps being taken for the conservation of Asiatic lion and its IUCN status, WPS status, everything will be seen here. Fourth is Coral Triangle Day. We will come to understand what is Coral Triangle, where this is located, and how this day, which organization celebrates this day. So here is our first topic, very easy topic. What is anthropause? If you want to know more details, you can open or you can Google Indian Express explained section. There is one anthropause explanation. You can also read that. But whatever is needed for your prelims is being covered here, so do not worry. Anybody having the optional anthropology knows that anthro means dealing with humans, discussing about humans. So there is a pause about your activity during the COVID lockdown. There is a pause on anthropogenic activity. There is pause on human activities. In that pause, the environment is growing. The animal, wildlife, they are coming here. See, this is a civet in Kozhikode district traveling on the road. Probably you would never see this civet. And this civet might be the Malabar civet, right? This is in Kozhikode. But a civet is coming here on the road, straight forward, and no human being is seen there. So anthro is paused, human activity is paused, and the wild animal and the environment. In fact, it happened that from Bihar, Mount Everest was seen recently because there was low pollution. So what is that? It refers to the coronavirus induced lockdown. You are not having a lockdown, you are not pausing yourself by free choice. It's your masburi, right? It's your situation that is making you go under lockdown. So it is coronavirus induced lockdown period and its impact on other species. So human activity is under lockdown, but coronavirus is not concerning the animal species. So other species are also affected because human species are not going outside. So other species are having some impact. We will see positive or negative, whatever impact. To refer specifically to a considerable global slowing down of modern human activities, notably travel. You are not traveling, right? You are confining in a place. So that is your anthropause. The term is not a old term, okay? During the COVID lockdown only, some UK researchers said for lockdown period we can coin a new term. They were very interested, so they called it anthropause. It is also known as great pause because it has never happened. Humanity has always developed, travel and tourism has always developed. This halt is being seen for the first time. Even when the world war happens, the human activity increases a lot because you have to produce bomb, you have to produce gunpowder, you have to produce missiles and everything. So that time also human activity increases. In fact, that leads to huge tax on the country people. So you do not consider that in the war the human activity is reduced. No, this is not a war. It is a term coined by UK researchers, also called as great pause, that is anthropause. It will help to understand how human activity affects worldwide. Once you coin the term that human activity is halted, now you study that how does it affect the wildlife? What is the impact on wildlife? Once the human activity is paused, your wild animals are coming in the open in human habitation. This is not animal-man conflict actually. They are freely moving. So more animals are sighted. For example, you can see this image. Also in Santiago, puma was sighted. Chile, Santiago, puma was sighted. Jackals in the parks of Tel Aviv, Israel. In Israel, jackals are being sighted in the parks where generally you and me used to go if you are in Israel, but now jackals are there. Dolphins in the water of Italy who were not being seen from a long time. In India, critically endangered animals sighted in streets like your Malabar civet in Kozhikode, Sandbar in Chandigarh. This is the situation. However, people say that it has been challenging for urban dwelling animals such as rats, gulls, monkeys because they were having the food. You could see, I think, if you go in the street, you will notice that dogs and cats' health has degraded because hotels have closed. Eating places have closed, and these animals, the urban animals, used to depend on the discarded food waste by the humans, but now they are threatened, their health is degraded. So see, this is the positive impact. they are getting open spaces. And this is the urban, for urban animals this is a negative impact, because they depend on human consumption, and human consumption has slowed down. So your rats, monkeys, gulls, and even dogs, those are negatively impacted. So this is all about anthropos, a very just interesting term, nothing more about that. So UPSC might ask you what is anthropos. Coming to the next topic. Next topic is already being discussed from a long time, sixth mass extinction. So has any mass extinction happened before that? Yes, there have been big 5 mass extinction in this world on the earth. In the late Ordovician period, the first mass extinction happened. It happened 440 million years ago, and 85% of all species, including marine and invertebrates like all these animals, had been eliminated in that time. Second mass extinction happened in late Devonian period. It happened 174 million years ago, and 75% of all species, including your brachiopods, bivalves, all these animals, they eliminated, they got extinct. Third happened in Permian period. Sorry, the late Devonian happened in 374. If you, I will give you the notes, don't worry, it will have an enlarged image. 374 million years ago. And Permian period, the third mass extinction happened 250 million years ago, and 95%, this was the largest one. So you need to remember that Permian mass extinction, Permian period mass extinction was the largest one, and 95% of all species got extinct in this period. Fourth mass extinction, your Jurassic period. You remember dinosaur? The fourth mass period happened in Jurassic period. It happened 200 million years ago, right? And 80% of all species, including your Ichthyosaurs, this is related to dinosaur only, this got eliminated. Many turtles, many snakes, many spiders, many grasshoppers got eliminated in fourth mass extinction, but the largest mass extinction was 95%, that was third mass extinction, that happened in Permian period. And the last one, Cretaceous period. Cretaceous period was a fifth mass extinction, or you can call the recent one. 76% of all species got extinct in this period. This period, Cretaceous period, had the flying reptiles. They also got extinct in this period. They were known as pterosaurs, related to dinosaur only. Non-avian dinosaurs also got eliminated in Cretaceous period. So one related species, Ichthyosaurs, got eliminated in Jurassic. But otherwise, Jurassic period was a thriving period of dinosaurs. After Jurassic period, in Cretaceous period, during the mass extinction, fifth mass extinction, all your non-avian dinosaurs and flying reptiles, all of those got eliminated. So now a study about sixth mass extinction. What is the concept? The present period, just like you had Ordovician, Devonian, Permian, Jurassic and Cretaceous, now you have Anthropocene epoch, right? Because human activity is there. So Anthropocene epoch you have. Now this extinction, sixth mass extinction, is very different. Now this was happening naturally, okay? Some things happened, climate change and all happened. Now you are doing it artificially. In Anthropocene epoch, the great human activity, not during the COVID lockdown, but otherwise you have great human activity that is giving unsustainable pressure on climate and environment, and that is leading to extinction of species, various species. And might be, if you give so much unsustainability on the environment, tomorrow maybe even the humans will be extinct, even they might be eliminated by the activity of ourselves only. That is the concept of sustainable development. You try to sustainable development, you try to maintain the sustainability of the future generations by consuming as much as is required, not consuming so much that tomorrow nothing is left for your next generation. So Anthropocene epoch will see sixth mass extinction, and many scientists are saying that this has already started because many species got eliminated by the human activity. Consider cheetah. Only humans have killed the last cheetah in Chhattisgarh. So that is what, in 1953 around. That is your sixth mass extinction characteristic only. One case only. The included extinction span numerous families of plants. You are eliminating plants also. You are eliminating animals also. Mammal, bird, reptile, amphibians, everything. See, 29,400 species of terrestrial vertebrates are determined, of which are on the brink of extinction because they have fewer than 1,000 individuals. So almost 29,400 species of terrestrial vertebrates are determined. They are seen that they are going to get extinct in a few years because they have just left 1,000 less individuals. 29,000 just because of human activity. What is mass extinction? I have shown you the chart. So I've told you about the 5 mass extinction happened in the past. Mass extinction means substantial increase in the degree of extinction. Extinction is happening. Evolution, extinction, these are happening side by side. Not a big problem. This will happen. But it happens at a large extent that threatens the biodiversity of the world. That is mass extinction, right? When Earth loses more than 3/4 of its species, you see here 85%, 75%, 95%, in the third one 80%, 76%. Even if it was 3/4 of the species, 3/4 means how much? 66%, 75%, right? 75%. So everything here has happened. See, fifth mass extinction also 76%. So whenever and second mass extinction 75%. Whenever loss of biodiversity happens at the scale of 75% at least, or 3/4 at least, in a geologically short period of time, it should be intense. That will be known as mass extinction. So far there have been past 5 mass extinction. Those are all caused by catastrophic alteration to the environment, but human being was not there to cause the environmental change. Now the Anthropocene epoch will see the mass extinction, is already seeing the mass extinction because of human activity. So these two small topics are done. Now come to the third one, which is important, very important, a little longer topic. Asiatic lion census. So where does this Asiatic lion live? It doesn't live in Africa. That is African lion. Here we are talking about Asiatic lion, and very beautifully, Asiatic lion is present in wild in India only. In India also it is present in Gujarat only. In Gujarat also it is present in a small portion of your Kathiawad Gir dry deciduous forest area ecosystem. There is one ecosystem, Kathiawad Gir dry deciduous area. It is present in that area only, in the Saurashtra region. You have Gir National Park, Gir Wildlife Sanctuary for that conservation. So every 5 years the census is conducted. This year the census was a little bit delayed because of the COVID lockdown, but anyway results have come. So according to June 5, it was released on June 5, 2020. According to June 5, 2020 census of the Asiatic lion, number has risen. How much? Almost 28 to 29% over the 5 years. This census is conducted every 5 years. So last result was in 2015. And estimated now you have 674. In India, the problem is that this is very much located in a specific part of India. So tomorrow if any disease comes and it infects some lions, this will be a big problem. Lions travel in pride. It will be infecting all the lions, and that might threaten the population of the Asiatic lion. The Supreme Court has said that no, please relocate some lions to the Madhya Pradesh because they need grassland, right? Lions need grassland, not like tiger. They need open grassland, savanna like grassland, just like Africa. In Gir it is present. Supreme Court said that the same environment ecosystem is present in Madhya Pradesh also. Some portion of your Gir Kathiawad is present in Madhya Pradesh also. So you can relocate some of the lions in Madhya Pradesh so that their conservation can be maintained even if a disease happens in the future. But the problem is that Gujarat government is taking pride in the pride. They are saying that no, we are not going to relocate. We will keep the lions. But obviously this is a big threat. So 674 Gir forest region it was present, and some coastal areas of Saurashtra also. Sometimes lion travel in your villages also in this area in the night, and the dogs are very much threatened and scared by the lion coming in the streets. During 2015 population was 523, so it is almost 28 to 29% rise. Now 674, very good number. And it is conducted by the Gujarat government. You have to remember that this lion census is conducted by the Gujarat government exclusively. There is no central government involvement here because it is present in Gujarat only every 5 years. So what is Asiatic lion? Don't talk about African lion, not important for your prelims. Asiatic lion is present in Wildlife Protection Act. We have a schedules. So in a schedule 1, that is the highest degree of protection, just like your tiger. Once upon a time a question came in UPSC that some animal has got the schedule 1 situation position in the Wildlife Protection Act. In the option it was written that means that it has got the same conservation status, protection status as tiger, and that was the right option. One of the option was right. So just like that UPSC can ask you one question that Asiatic lion is present in a schedule 1. Does that mean that it has the same protection status as tiger? Yes, all the schedule 1 animals will have the same protection status. All the schedule 2 animals will have the same protection status. So schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 that provides the highest degree of protection, and IUCN status, International Union for Conservation of Nature, that has given the IUCN status, has given it endangered. It is already endangered. but the population is not declining or something, so that is why it is not critically endangered or something, it is endangered. You have to remember these two for the prelims. Okay, this is considered pride of Gujarat, present in the Gir region, and 9 districts of Gujarat can see the population of your Asiatic lion. See, Gir forest of Gujarat, which is the only place where Asiatic lion is found in its natural habitat. You can keep it in a zoo in other places, not a problem. But in wild, in natural habitat, it is present only in the Gir forest. Here you have many protected areas, you should Google and know about them. Gir Wildlife Sanctuary, Gir National Park, Pania Wildlife Sanctuary, see, Mitiala Wildlife Sanctuary, and adjoining forest protected areas and unclassed forests are also present in which your Asiatic lion is present. It is found. For your convenience, I have included this chart from some newspaper. Okay, this is from Gujarat State Forest and Environment Department source. See, the number has been always rising. 284, 304, 327, 5. Number has always been rising. That is a good thing. Okay, that is a good thing. And if you want to see the male and female population, you can see, but this is not important. Main thing is that in 2020, male 159, female 262. Good number, good gender parity. Okay, and sub-adults are also there, the children, cubs, and sorry, a sub-adult and cub are separated. Okay, 138. So total number is 674. Very good number. Now we will try to understand what are the major threats faced by the lions. How can their population be threatened? First is hunting and poaching, just like tiger. The lion has faced threats like hunting and poaching in the past, but now poaching is not happening. Gujarat government is giving the absolute protection because you have included them in a Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. But still, a few cases can happen, but it has come down. Also, the lion hunting and poaching is not just like tiger. The tiger skin and everything, claws are having very high price. It is a fact. So somehow lion is not in that category by your illegal wildlife traffickers. They do not consider lion in that category, that costly category. So that also has some impact. For example, your one-horned rhinoceros, that is also very much threatened by poachers and hunters in the Kaziranga because of horn that is used in many traditional medicine. Disease. What happened in 2018? More than 20 lions died in the Gir forest. There was a disease, canine distemper viral disease, and in 2018 it was a very big news in your Indian Express or the Hindu, everywhere. And this topic came that please relocate some lions in the Madhya Pradesh. Otherwise, if it takes over, this canine distemper viral disease takes over, then many lions can be threatened, many lions can die. There is one other disease. This is viral disease, canine distemper viral disease. Another disease is babsiosis. Babsiosis is bacterial infection that also threatens lions. So what are these two diseases? Canine distemper viral disease and babesiosis. We will see that. But before that, I want you to see Kathiawar Gir dry deciduous forest. This is the map of it. Some portion of Madhya Pradesh, some portion of Rajasthan, some portion of Gujarat, and here also the same ecosystem. So here you have the lion. Can you relocate it in Madhya Pradesh area? Yes, Supreme Court says that yes, you should relocate. And your Gujarat government is not giving. So your Kathiawar Gir dry deciduous forest is mostly arid ecoregion in northwestern India. Its area is this much, 1 lakh square kilometer. Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh. Okay. The dry deciduous forests are present. It has teak, thorny trees. So this is kind of open forest. You can see that. Here a lion can live. The Kathiawar Gir dry deciduous forest includes your Aravalli range. Okay. High point is Mount Abu. Mount Abu is here in Rajasthan with an elevation 1721 meters. So Mount Abu is present in Kathiawar Gir dry deciduous forest ecosystem only. And Aravalli range is also included here. And a small portion is present here also in the Gir area. Here lives your lion. You should also see the map of Gir area. You have Junagadh district here and you have Amreli district here. In them, adjoining areas make this Gir Forest National Park. Here lives your lion, and this is in Kathiawar Gir dry deciduous forest ecosystem only. It is present here also, it is present here also, and it is present here also. This is just near your Gulf of Khambat, see, and Diu Island. Daman is here. Daman is the coastal area. Daman is situated in land area. But Daman Diu together make an union territory. Now there was a talk of separating them also, I think. But Diu is here only. Okay. So this is the map. I think here is Pakistan boundary, and you have this conflict, Sar Creek conflict along this line. But anyway, that is not to be taken here. We were saying the disease, canine distemper viral disease. It doesn't affect only lion, okay? It affects a variety of animal families, including domestic and wild species of dogs. So tomorrow, if a dog is infected with canine distemper virus and the lion comes in the city area in Gujarat, eats that dog, the lion will also get the disease. It impacts foxes also, pandas also, wolves also, and many animals, including the large cats. Previously, it was believed that your tiger and lion are resistant to this, okay? They believe that the large cats are not impacted by this disease, but this disease impacts actually lions, and we have seen in the Gir almost 22 of our lions have died because of this disease in 2018. What does this virus do? Distemper affects several body systems including gastrointestinal and respiratory tract. Any virus will impact the respiratory tract sooner or later. A spinal cord and brain is also impacted. High fever, eye inflammation, eye nose discharge, labored breathing, that is difficult breathing, coughing, vomiting. These things happen to the animals, and then they die if they are not protected in the short span of time. So what kind of virus is this? This is single-stranded RNA virus. This belongs to Paramyxoviridae, and in the same family you have the viruses that cause measles, mumps and bronchitis in humans. So a very good understanding. The disease is highly contagious via inhalation. So what is your Babesia disease? This is caused by bacteria. It is an Apicomapplexan parasite that infects blood red cells and transmitted by ticks. So one tick will sit on one animal and take some blood out of the animal, will go to another animal and spread Babesia, that is caused by bacteria. Why this is named so? Because this was discovered by Romanian bacteriologist. Name was Victor Babes. So that is why Babesia. Over 100 species of Babesia has been discovered since then. Babesia is the genus, right? Babesia is the genus of the bacteria. So there can be various species. Almost 100 species have been discovered. It infects the erythrocytes. Erythrocytes are red blood cells. Leukocytes are white blood cells. It infects the erythrocytes in many vertebrate hosts. Sometimes it can affect humans also, where they cause the disease babesiosis. So if it is infecting wild animal, domestic animal or humans, it will be known as babesiosis. Babesia is the bacterium. So is government doing anything for the lion conservation? Yes, government is doing. There is a project. It was launched in 2018-19, Asiatic Lion Conservation Project. It aims to protect and conserve the world's last ranging free population of Asiatic lion, that is Gir population, and its associated ecosystem. So this is not talking about translocation. This is just talking about conserving the Asiatic lion in its natural forest in the Gir area. Second is a species recovery program. It comprises of 21 critically endangered species. This is not only about the lion. Government has one species recovery program so that we can recover the population of the species which is declining, and in that list, in that 21 critically endangered species, your Asiatic lion in Gujarat was included in list of 21 critically endangered species for recovery program. Though it is not critically endangered, but we are including it in that list because their population is very much vulnerable. What do we do in a species recovery program? We will ensure a better habitat improvement, scientific interventions for their protection. Vaccination can also happen for the disease control, veterinary care so that the animal doesn't die, and adequate ecosystem development for the fringe population in order. I told you about that some lions are present not only in Gir National Park, present in adjoining area also. That is fringe population. So you have to protect the fringe population also so that a viable lion population is maintained in the country. That is a species recovery program, not only for lion, for 21 animals, but lion is included in that list. Concept of greater Gir has been adopted. Okay, fine, you are confined in a small area. Now we will make greater Gir so that you can go in the adjoining areas also. We will protect you, and we will make very good and natural habitat for your protection. See, suitable habitat for lion is being developed for the habitation of lion in greater Gir area. You have wildlife crime control at the state level that will do the protection, and also for the greater Gir region you have task force for the greater Gir region. They will be strengthened together and they will protect the animal. What can be the reasons for the increase in lion population? Community participation. Government has made community to participate. They also help. Use of new technology. Habitat management already happening. Human-animal conflict is being avoided. prey base has increased. Many animals which lion eats, they have also increased. So lion is getting the good food. And your vaccination, improved healthcare, including we had to import the vaccine for some lions who were infected with canine distemper virus, and we somehow with the vaccination we ensured that this canine distemper virus doesn't spread in the other animals, other lions. Now lion enumeration methodology, very important. One is lion census, normal thing. One is Poonam Avalokan. What is Poonam Avalokan? Anyway, first of all, understand that when was the first lion census conducted in Junagadh. So Nawab of Junagadh, you remember, who wanted to go to Pakistan, who wanted to make Pakistan, Junagadh merge with Pakistan. That Nawab conducted in 1936 the first lion census of Gujarat in the Junagadh area. Since 1965, the Forest Department of Gujarat has been doing this census every 5 years, and during COVID lockdown, it was delayed for the little bit, but and anyway, now the June 2020, the results have come. But this was not the usual census, right? So lion census. Lion census involves larger participation by NGOs will participate, experts will participate, wildlife enthusiasts who want to help, they will also participate. Forest department invites them actually. You join this census thing, and if you give us data, that will ensure that there is transparency and it will augment our manpower also. This doesn't happen in your tiger census. Tiger census is very much technical. Camera trap, satellite trap, everything is there. And there have been some problem of transparency also in tiger census, because you want to show the world that we have so many tigers. But in lion census, NGOs are invited for transparency, and that will augment, increase the manpower also. Lion census, how much time? Runs for more than 2 days only, and includes a preliminary census and a final census report is done. We do the lion census by block counting method. Block, we make a block, right, and count how many lions there, in which enumerators remain stationed at water points or machan. You remember machan? In a forest area you make machan, you sit over there. Previously the shooters used to sit there, the hunters and all. Now for counting we are sitting there. They are given a block and count lions in a block based on direct sighting of the lions. This is by direct sighting. So you prepare so many blocks in the Gir forest area and the adjoining area. 2 or 3 people will be sitting here. They will be at the water point on the machan, and they will observe, okay, this lion has come. We are counting that lion. This lion has come here. This lion has come here. And then all this data will be collected, and we will come to conclude the population of the lion. The 15th lion census was due to be conducted on June 5 and June 6, but was postponed indefinitely due to the COVID-19. So this was the usual thing which used to happen, lion census. But now this time lion census is very different. This lion census has been done by an exercise, Poonam Avalokan. This time the forest department used the monthly lion observation exercise. This is monthly lion observation exercise. It is called Poonam Avalokan. So you have to remember that Poonam Avalokan is the new technique by which we have gone for the census of lion in your Gir forest area. Otherwise we used to go for the lion census normal, but now these NGOs, now these people, now these volunteers were not available because of the lockdown. So the Gujarat Forest Department went for Poonam Avalokan. So what is Poonam Avalokan? First of all, what is Poonam? Poonam is another word for Purnima. What is Purnima? Full moon day, right? Amavasya is new moon day, and Purnima or Poonam is full moon day, because there is light. So you can do the counting. It is undertaken, monthly exercise undertaken on every full month, every month. It is already being done, and according to that monthly exercise only we have released the census this time, because the normal lion census was not possible. It is an in-house exercise conducted by the forest department. Started in 2014 every month, and then it ran up to the 14th lion census to estimate the population of lions. It is as rigorous as the census exercise. This also involves a lot of manpower. In Poonam Avalokan, route transaction method was adopted to sight lions in the area. It helps to count the minimum number of lions in an area. So in Poonam Avalokan, you use your Purnima light, and you count the routes taken by the lions. So those routes taken and all the lions going on that route are counted, and you estimate the number of the lions. It helps to count the minimum number of lions in an area. Okay, so that can be more than that also in real, but minimum number of lions are counted. So that is all today, and one coral triangle day I will cover in the next lecture, and some other topics also. Thank you.